In the deal room this week, I want to talk about the initial stages of buyer discovery. Now, buyer discovery being that initial period of when a buyer first looks at a business. And the question that came up this week is, what should each party expect from the other at this time? As a business owner trying to sell your company, there are a few things you need to be prepared to provide to a buyer in this initial discovery stage. Number one, financial statements. You need to have a few years of financial statements, P&Ls, balance sheets, and yes, even tax returns, including an interim statement as well. You need to provide details on your property lease, or maybe you own the property. So do you want to sell it? Do you want to keep it? If you want to keep it, what's the rent that you want to charge the new buyer? You need to provide a complete asset list with replacement values for all the equipment that you're currently using in the business. The buyer needs to understand your staff. Are they W-2? Are they 1099? How are they compensated? What's the tenure? Do you have key people in place that will stay after the sale of the business? And finally, basic operational details. You need to provide those. A buyer needs to be able to put himself in your shoes and understand, do I really have the ability to run this business? Is this something I'm excited about? Is this something that I think I'll be able to do successfully? Now, as a buyer trying to acquire a company, there are several things you need to be prepared to provide on the front end as well. Number one, a non-disclosure agreement. If you're not willing to personally guarantee a non-disclosure agreement when looking at a business, then you don't need to be looking at a business to begin with. Have some sort of resume or professional profile prepared that you can provide to a seller or a seller's representative to show some background and give some insight into why you're interested in this business in the first place and why you think it'd be a good fit for you. Have some sort of personal financial statement or proof of funds, something that shows you have the financial ability to buy this business. That's going to make a seller feel much more confident in providing his financial information about his company if he knows you can afford to buy it. Now, maybe you're going the bank route or an SBA loan to buy the business and you're not going to be paying cash. If that's the case, you need to have some sort of letter of interest from a lender. And not just your personal bank who will write a letter saying, hey, you're a great guy and you've got great credit and we love this customer and we'll do a loan for him. But an actual lender who has looked at the business as well, who wants to do the deal and can honestly put a letter together saying, we like the business, we like the borrower, this is a deal we want to do. And finally, be conscientious of the seller's schedule. Remember, he's still running his business and that's his priority. So he may want to meet at odd hours when employees aren't around. He may not want to meet initially at all. He may want to do a conference call. Or if you're an out-of-town buyer, he may want you to fly in for that meeting or drive in for that meeting. But those are things you really need to take into consideration. At the end of the day, both parties just need to realize there's some give and take here. There's certain things that I need to provide as a seller to get the buyer comfortable with the business. There's certain things as a buyer that I need to do to get the seller comfortable with me buying his business. This is not only going to speed the process up and be able to move you to an LOI more quickly, it's also going to make the due diligence process go much smoother. In the deal room this week, I'm Jeremy Furtick with Huntington Business Group in Dallas.